Hello, hello, my name is Avid, and I'm here to be your virtual stand-up comedian for the next 10 minutes or so. When I say virtual, I am still a real person talking to you right now behind an avatar. So, if I'm unable to stimulate genuine laughter, at least have the courtesy to get your avatars to do some LOL gesturing. Even if you feel sorry for me, but please don't spam or gesture bait, because it's really irritating. I'd rather you masturbated than gesture baited. If you're a woman, obviously. Men can do it too, I just don't want to know about it. Ugh. Anyway, in my experience, pretense is rife on Second Life. You know, role-playing, acting, pretending to be something you're not. It's everywhere on SL. Whilst I do appreciate that some people want to escape from reality and truly live out a virtual life, there are many instances where I feel sceptical and I philosophically challenge some people's morals. But you know, this is something I merely ponder and never really do anything about because, one, I'm not Jesus, and two, unfortunately, there's no proper judicial system or government. There's no laws, okay? We just have community standards. So basically, if somebody's causing grief, you may get your account suspended, or for repeated violations, you'll get banned. Yeah, that's a real deterrent. If people are determined enough and smart enough, they'll find ways around the technical loopholes, and sometimes an offence just isn't clear-cut. I mean, how do you provide evidence for someone that abuses you on voice chat? Do you constantly record your sound? Anyway, once upon a time, and this is a true story, I worked as a DJ on Second Life, and it was in a club with exotic dancers, or better known as strippers. For me personally, I wasn't interested in the dancers and their pixels or the emoting, it just paid well. The sleazy clientele had money to burn, apparently. So, picture this. There I was, presenting some songs in a club, and suddenly a message pops up. It was from someone in the club, just saying hello. Ooh. So, I respond. I say hello back, and I'm all friendly and nice. Well, it's part of the job, right? I then had a little look at their profile, and it appears to be a female. I then headed straight for the First Life section to see if they had a real-life photo. Ask any man, and they'd do the same. It's not always for lecherous, perverted reasons, really. I mean, most of the time it is. But at the time, I thought it was a good idea for gender verification. So, the photo was of a girl, and she looked quite attractive. She then started to flirt with me, saying how I had a hot voice, and this immediately left me apprehensive. Believe it or not, I'm not told I have a hot voice very often. Can you believe that? But nonetheless, I went along with this overly generous compliment. Wasn't something that happened every day. Probably the first time, actually. So, after the show, the person said they would love to voice with me, and I quite happily went along with that. I had no reason not to, but then they started to speak. And it was a man trying to imitate a female voice. Immediately I knew, you just do, don't you? It's easy to distinctly tell the difference between a man and a female's voice. So, without hesitation, I said, you're a man? To which their response was, no, I'm not. You've hurt my feelings. Not only did this guy have the audacity to deny the accusation, but he tried to draw on my emotions. Well, he obviously didn't know how bloody heartless and callous I am, because I abruptly told him to fuck off and went offline. What is it about me that attracts homosexual men? I mean, it's not the first time it's happened. Do I look stereotypically gay or something? You can look all you want, boys. Just don't seduce me. My penis belongs to a vagina. Eventually. When someone grants me access. Anyway, I can see quite a few interesting and attractive avatars before me today. It's funny how we make such an effort to look stylish and cool on Second Life when some of us don't even bother in reality. A while back I knew someone, a male friend. Yeah, believe it or not, I can have male friends without being gay. And he spent $300 on SL clothing. That's around 80,000 Linden dollars, which is insane amounts in my opinion. When he told me that, I asked him what he was wearing in real life. You know what he said? A pair of old jeans and a ripped t-shirt. Now, let's just say you were in massive debt. How's your beautiful avatar going to help you? Are you going to sell it to raise some funds? No. It's absolutely fucking worthless. Yeah, I've wasted so much money on mine. It's ridiculous. Now, can anybody tell me why on SL some men think that because of their enormous pixelated penis, that immediately gives them a divine right into a pixelated pussy? And it seems to me they want to put it into action as soon as possible. So many girls have expressed frustration about this to me, and it's based mainly on their lack of emoting when getting down to cybersex. They just pop their oversized cock out, well, attach it, and expect the opposite sex to be instantly aroused. Am I right with that general observation? I must admit myself, it is one of the first things that I bought, but I never wanted to use it as quickly as possible, and I knew that it alone wouldn't do much to excite the vast majority of girls. I got one mainly for the sake of preparation, but also because I didn't want to look like a plastic doll whenever I removed my clothing. You know what I mean? Like a Ken and Barbie doll, missing the genitalia. I also took the time to get the colour of the attachment to match the rest of my body and made sure it was all lined up correctly. A lot of men don't seem to bother with those kinds of details. My advice to any man listening is to put a little bit of effort in when setting up your member. Otherwise, it could potentially ruin the fantasy. I don't think any girl on this planet desires an orange cock attached to a white body with the testicles hanging just in front of the anus, which looks almost mutated. I could be wrong there. Now, you may wonder why I'm aware of this stuff, and you probably think I'm homosexual or bisexual, but I'm afraid that's not the case. On a number of occasions, I've seen men trespassing at my home in the nude. Admittedly, I didn't use security, but it's still a violation, surely. In reality, if you saw a man wandering about outside your home with their penis flapping about, you would immediately call the police. Yet, on here, most of us feel it's a pretty minor offence, although still in breach of the almighty community standards, surely. But you need evidence, and I don't know about you, but I ain't about to start taking photos of strange, grotesque penises. It just ain't worth it. Normally, my way of dealing with it is to pretend that I am actually interested in their orange mutated cock. I might say something like, if your goal is to find an arsehole, would you like me to bend over for you? And 99% of the time, they run off with their balls between their legs, literally. Although one guy said yes, disturbingly. He said because he wanted to give me AIDS. Even though I laughed at his sarcasm, I quickly banned him from my land. At this moment in time, right now, you're thinking to yourself, shit, this guy is one of those cynical, pretentious preachers that looks down on the rest of the Second Life universe. You know, I probably sound really snooty, but while that might be somewhat true, I must also confess that I ain't a saint. I'm no saint. I'm not infallible. I'm far from perfect. Once upon a time, I was shopping at a store, a busy store, that sold hair, and the majority of the customers were female. Anyway, I'm not sure what came over me, but I was in a funny mood, so I sidled up alongside a woman in front of a sign and decided to get my penis out, fully erect. Maybe I was inspired by the guy that said he had AIDS, or wanted to give me AIDS. So, I still had my clothes on, my penis just poked out of the material. I then said, "God, these hairstyles are so exciting." It took about a minute before the woman realised, and she simply said to me, "Your cock is out." To which I responded, "Well, I'm searching for some hair to ejaculate into, kind of like in the film Something About Mary. Could you help me out, please?" I don't think she understood my humour, because she went on to say, "What would you like me to do?" I said, and God, this is bad. "Why don't you get the demo of this hairstyle and just get down on your knees for me?" Surprise, surprise, she vanished. You know what makes me laugh the most, though, about Second Life? The profiles. Some of the rubbish that people put down in their profiles can send me into hysterics. For instance, those that are super defensive and seemingly unsociable. I will read out an example of a profile now. "I hate griefers. Do not mess with me. Do not call me honey. I am not your honey. And no, I don't do Second Life sex. I do not accept friend requests from strangers. If you send a friend request and I don't know you, you will be ignored. If I want to be your friend, I will add you. Not to be ignorant, but if you do it and get rejected, it's your own fault. You've been warned." To my friends, I'm an angel, but there's another side of me that can be a real bitch. You do not want to see this side of me. Wow, she's precious. It baffles me immensely how she even has friends. Perhaps they are a figment of her imagination. She sounds like a grumpy old middle-aged emo that thinks it looks cool to be militantly rebellious and hostile. Some people really need to get a life, says me, the guy that uses SL every day. But you get my point. Another common theme in profiles would be the super cheesy, you know, the excessively emotional, full of cliches, the hyperbole, that crap. Okay? An example of this would be, and I'll attempt to read this out in the manner it was written. Okay? "My wifey is my world. Baby, they try and try to tear us apart. They talking trash about us, but we're still going strong. You are my world. You are my everything. I will love you forever, baby. You my $1 million special lady. Diamonds and pearls, not enough for you." So basically, it's them against the world, against all odds. Love conquers all. Sheesh, if I'm ever feeling a bit nauseous and I want to vomit, I'd read crap like that. I'm sorry, but from my experiences, men like this that are so adamantly open about expressing their feelings in such an over-the-top fashion generally turn out to be manipulative womanizers. Let's face it, and it makes me sick, literally. He had this gangster-looking profile image with the huge gold chain and the bloody grill. You know, that whole persona, the player gangster types that are fresh out of the ghetto. They irritate me the most. It looks cheap, it looks tacky, and it subscribes to misogyny. But you know, I wouldn't be such a player hater if you actually stopped shooting people. Anyway, thanks for listening to me waffle on. I hope you found some of it amusing. Cheers. Bye.